Tell me about, let's talk for a second about hell ships. What, do you remember the day that you left, or approximately when you left?
Somewhere along a little earlier than this, somewhere around the last of September, I'm not sure.
1944?
Yeah, 1944, and there's this guy that stayed at Clark Field with me the whole time. His name was Bearden. He was Wainwright's bodyguard, and he was a tough old boy. And him and I got to be friends working. We went to the water thing, clean out the water together. We worked a lot of details, and we got to be good friends. So when we got to Manila, I was out of it. I don't hardly remember getting on the hell ships. He put me on the hell ship. And if we had got on any other one of the hell ships there, we'd have drowned or got sunk. But I got on the only ship that went through, and the woman, 2 or 3 got on after I did. I was right at the tail end of when my mother got on that ship.
What was the name of the ship?
I don't know, Joanne's got
I've
it.
got it written down somewhere too, but yeah. I did.
The whole convoy was, most of it was sunk before we got there. And we down in the hole, they shooting at us some and not hit our ship, but I don't think it killed a soul on the ship, but you couldn't tell where the stuff was coming from the air, or from underneath the ground, or from missiles. Couldn't tell it from submarine. You just knew they were shooting at you, and you couldn't tell where it's coming from.
And how did they mark the ships? As POWs or?
No, I don't think so. But it's hard for me to understand why Uncle Sam didn't know we were on there. It's just hard to understand that much spies and all that they have around Manila, they didn't know POWs on those ships. Sometime I wonder if they did. Looked like Uncle Sam would have knew we was on that, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, that ship lasted about 18 days. And I was little, and I'd stayed up close to the hatch. You know, the hatch is thing where we crawled in and where to let stuff in, freight in, and I would stay real close to the hatch. And if they wanted somebody to do something, I was first in there. And several times I got to go up on top deck, and several times I was on barrel detail. We would just throw them in the water. But over in the Philippines, in that part of the air was moist. Rainy season, the air was moist, and I might not get nothing drank up there, but I get my throat more moist. I tell you, all that stuff that I was doing, I wasn't that smart. I just wanted to live. And nobody in the world wanted to live any more than I did. I'd had 20 bad years, and I wanted some good years. So I was smart enough that I figured everything I had, and I always had me 1 or 2 days of food or something stashed away. That's all I did for is stay alive. That's everything else. Stay alive. And I wasn't looking out next week. I was looking out for the day and tomorrow.
I imagine the hell ship probably didn't take a direct route to Japan. They probably zigzagged.
I just don't know. I'm sure they did on account of trying to fool Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
See, this 1944, Uncle Sam Navy was taking over. Uncle Sam Navy had the Japanese Navy just about destroyed.
Cross Sea battle was over, Midway was over. So Japan was on the defense.
See, I don't remember any kind of escort. I'm sure they had an escort, but I don't remember what it was. Japanese escort, but sure. That seemed to me like it lasted about 18 days.
Do you remember where you arrived in Japan, what the port was?
Right out of Tokyo. No, not Tokyo. Yama. What's the name of it? Not Yamaha. That other big city over there?
Osaka?
No. Can't remember the name of it, but anyway, we pulled into there, and it says it's getting late in the year. It's in October sometime, the time we got there. And the water was getting cool. But anyway, we had, on that ship, when we got to Japan, we were all red with heat down that hole. It was kind of cool outside. It was hot, that hole. All that piled up like stovewood. And we had all that heat when they pulled us in Yokohama. That's what I'm saying about. Yokohama. Pulled into Yokohama, they run us up on top deck and stripped us. and taking some ships they had, I guess the ships to fight fires, right next to us, and turn those hoses on with that high pressure hose, about a 4-inch water hose, turn it on and knock you down, and then wash them with salt water. And that salt water was, boy, it was cold, but it sting, oh, it sting, all so much salt. But it killed the heat in 24 hours. We didn't have no heat.
What did they, after you deboarded the ship, what did you do?
They put us on I stayed around the railroad station there for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and they put us on this train, a fairly small train. Each box probably didn't have over 40 guys on it. And it's a narrow gauge railroad, real narrow gauge railroad. And it carried us 200 miles north of Tokyo. And I thought, well, good deal, because when we got on that train, we hadn't hardly got on it before they gave us a nice box of food. They gave us some rice and small pieces of chicken and 1 or 2 vegetables. And they did it again. They did it 3 times riding that train. I thought, we got it made now. But then after we got off the train, we went into a camp, and the food wasn't much better, a little better.
What city?
Hanawa, 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 Japan. Small mining town, probably wasn't over 5,000-6,000 people, and the mine was hour and a half away from our camp where we went and walked around.
Do you remember who owned the mine?
Somebody says in Nissan. I don't know. I'm not sure. Somebody said.
Nissan or Mitsubishi?
Well, I think both companies. I think I'm not sure, Fred. I'm not sure. Some of the companies was owned by Nissan, some Mitsubishi. I don't know. But I know both of them owned them.
Yeah. Didn't make any difference to you. You were
no, we were
basically slave labor.
We were going to sue Nissan, and Uncle Sam wouldn't let us. See, because the international law says that you can work a prisoner of war, but you can't work them except for the Army. You can't work them for civilians in a mine, a factory, anything. If the chaps work, if they're supposed to work, you're doing something for them, for the Army, or for their base or something. They're not supposed to send you off to a job to work. And they were going to sue them for that, and everybody thought we could collect.
So describe a typical day at the mining.
There was an old mine, several hundred years old, and it was made for the Japanese. And the steps you go. Well, I guess that mine probably had 15, 18, 20 stores. It was huge. And some days you'd go up, some days you'd go down. You had to use steps. The steps were real narrow, and those old tall Americans couldn't hardly make it. Of course, me short, that helped a lot. And they would give you a little hole-like thing with a handle about 18 inches long. They'd give you a carbide light like the size of a tea glass. And you put the carbide in the bottom, and you had water on top, and the water would drip down on it and would form a fume with gas. Then the gas would come out of a little nozzle that you let the gas out. And that was your light. That was the only light you had. And most of the time they had you working with one more fellow. And the reason I remembered that old song, 16 cars, but most of the time my limit was 16 cars. That the other guy and I had to load 16 cars of that rock a day and push it out. And how we would load it was the Japanese would come in there with, they had these pipes running, air pipes running all through the mine, and they had pressure guns that would drill holes from this. I don't know how they did it, but it's air pressure, and they would drill holes at night, and also take dynamite and blow holes at night. But when you come in that next morning, that rock would all be there. And you have to pick it up and load it and put those 16 cars and push the cars on down. It was copper mine, but there wasn't no copper in it. They'd have lost money if they'd had to pay anybody for digging. There was no copper. It's an old mine.
Did Were there any Japanese guards that you particularly hated, or any that you particularly?
Oh yeah, there was some, and some was mean as the devil, and some was average. The average guard wanted to be nice to you. He couldn't be too nice to you because the other Japs would say he was pro-American. So even the ones that wanted to be a little nice couldn't be. But every once in a while, and like in Japan, I didn't. We had one in camp that was mean to everybody, but I didn't have any of the guys that worked with me, that worked me in Japan, to mean to me. In fact, civilians worked. It was retired Indian military men that take us up to the mine to work. They wasn't guards. They wasn't a gun anywhere around us, up and back. But we had one mean Jap in the camp. Then in the Philippines, we had several in camp. It's brutal. In fact, my friend that I was talking about a while ago that put me on that boat, he went back to Japan to testify against these guards. Same guard that done camped me.
Did
And they electrocuted them, gassed them up or something.
what did the Japanese tell you would happen if the U.S. invaded Japan?
I don't know, as they told me. I don't know. They were worried about it. They were really worried about it. But I don't know as they much said.
Yeah. Did you fear for your life if the U.S. invaded? Did you think in terms of if the U.S. invaded Japan?
We thought about it, Fred, but we had so many other troubles trying to stay alive. It really didn't bother you. We did. I was worried about Americans come in and, the infantry getting, bombing and that kind of stuff. It sure was nice to find out they didn't have to come in. They were probably, well, I think the way it read, the Japs would have killed us for American invaders.